This is TWiT.
So I get to try the HoloLens 2, finally.
Yay.
It's not really a finally. Like, I mean, I'm trying it ahead of 99.9% of people.
Yeah, remember that. I mean, I only kind of randomly went to Mobile World Congress. Most people did not.
I know.
You know,
it just still
Paul,
feels
did you
because
try it there? Did you get to try it?
Yeah, he got to try it. Oh, it's old news to him. He tried the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna. In fact, I'm gonna go make a sandwich while you talk about this.
All right. No, well, I actually have a very crazy story about me trying it that is super interesting. So, the field of view is way better. It's much taller. Like it doesn't feel like you're looking through a little mail slot anymore, which is great.
I agree.
And now you can manipulate holograms with your hands, as everyone's talked about. Except I could not. And so
do you have abnormally small hands?
No, my hands are actually pretty
problems.
big. Yeah, so because I wear progressive glasses, and it goes right over your glasses fine, and it feels very comfortable now. But I walked up to the hologram, and I was like either going right through it or like being too far back.
I would have the same problem.
Yeah, so they were watching me do this, and they're like, go up to it. And I'm like, I'm up to it. And they're like, no, you're not. And so then I'd like move forward and I try to grab it and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, trying to grab it, but I don't feel like I'm getting it. And then I realized suddenly, oh, it's because I have progressives where if I look up, I see distance and down, I see close. And so I couldn't get my head right to see the exact level of where the hologram was.
But depth perception shouldn't be impacted by that. Can you
I don't know what it was.
Can you go? Well,
but
I
remember,
can talk about it. Can you go with your fingers? Can you go like this and match your fingers up? Oh, look, you can't. You are having a depth perception issue, Ms. Foley.
Yeah.
I do too, and I'll tell you why I do. Paul can do it. Yeah. The reason I do, and I don't know if this is the same as you, but I don't have binocular vision. I use one eye at a time. Both eyes work totally. If I'm looking to the left, I'll use the left eye. If I'm looking to the right, I'll use the right eye.
Wait a minute. What? What's this called?
I don't know, but it was probably related.
So wait, is this something? So, I'm sorry to interrupt, but is this something that happened at middle age, or was this something you've had?
I've had it since birth. I had a lazy eye. I had a strabismus, and I think it's related to that. But normally, what happens at birth, babies are like that, is you learn to integrate your two eyes, and so. I can do that. My eyes will integrate if something's pretty close, but if it's a distant, I actually use a lot of tricks, unconscious tricks, to do depth perception. So I can drive and I don't walk into walls, but and a lot of it is shifting your vision very rapidly back and forth so that you simulate binocular vision and so forth. I bet you should ask your optometrist, your ophthalmologist, Mary Jo, because if you can't do that, you don't have depth perception. I can't.
This is kind of weird watching her try to do that.
Yeah.
So
it's not the glasses.
It was crazy. No, it was crazy because I'd go up to the hologram and I'd be like trying to grab it, and they're like, "No, you're not grabbing where it is." And I'm like, "I feel like I am." And so then they were watching me, and Greg is like, "Do you wear progressives?"
Can you shoot a basketball? I mean, what?
Yeah, well, you're probably terrible as I was at baseball and basketball.
I mean, I know you don't drive, and I think we can all say thank God for that. But.
Yeah, you could say that for a lot of reasons.
Where would this be a problem in day-to-day life?
Sports for sure.
Yeah. But luckily, that doesn't matter to me. Sports,
and it could be driving, but the human brain is a remarkable thing, and it learns to compensate.
Yeah. Right.
But you're in an unusual situation the brain is not trained to do, and it probably is having trouble.
Yeah, it was just the weirdest thing because I could see the holograms and I'd start walking up to them, but I'd go either too far or too close, and they were watching me and they're like, what are you doing?
So what I do, and what you might try when you're wearing HoloLens, is go like this.
Yeah.
Shake your head back and forth like that.
Does that knock your eyeballs together and it kind of gets them in sync? Or
I'm joking. Does that work? Exactly. But actually there is, what do they call that? When your eyes are moving rapidly back and forth all the time. It's not perceptible. Yeah. There's a name for it. I can't remember.
Yeah, there is.
But I think that's part of the mechanism that my brain uses to get some depth perception.
So, Mary Jo, your glasses, you got these at some age, right? Like as you got older, you needed that. Is that what happened? Because everyone has that problem, right? At middle age, at some age, it's different for everybody. All of a sudden you can't read a book, and like a lot of people will get like
that's just
reading
farsightedness, though. That's not.
Well, no, it's very common. Like you need reading glasses to see a menu or something.
Yeah.
So your solution is, what do you call them? The lenses are called what?
Progressives.
Progressive because you wear glasses.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is all normal. Don't you wear reading glasses, Paul? You're older.
Well, no. So my doctor's solution to this problem for me, because for years I would go in every year and she'd say, "Okay, you having a problem yet reading the menu?" And I'm like, "No, it's fine." And then 1 year it was like over, And what they decided to do was, if you think about your prescription, one of my eyes is one kind of notch up on the prescription, and one is one down, and so your eyes compensate. And so when I read a menu, I can read it. And if I'm watching TV, I can see it. It's fine. Right. But if I actually close one eye, right, I can tell which eye I can see the TV clearly. So if I have something,
I do that. You have you got monovision contacts.
Now I do, but with contacts.
Yeah. No, I had no problem. This is my reading eye and this is my distance eye, and it worked. Yeah. I took no time to adjust to it because I never used both eyes at a time anyway.
I find it alarming when I do this and I can realize which one's which. I don't like that one of them is a little blurry and different, but it works. And I had no problems with the HoloLens. So it's kind of
no, she's got depth. That's a separate thing. It's not presbyopia. It's not presbyopia. It's a depth perception issue.
You might want to see a doctor.
You might want to see a physician. No. Just next time you go in for your glasses, ask them.
Yeah. Anyway, what's cool is they're going to start looking
pokes
now.
Yourself in the eye.
Yeah, they're going to look at Microsoft now and just see, is there an issue for many people wearing progressives? Because
I don't think it's
one of those weird cases.
I think it's depth perception. It's one of the reasons if I do 3D of any kind, VR, I have to actually consciously go out of focus a little bit, and then I can combine the two images. You need binocular vision for VR, and I bet it's true for AR. So
Leo, do you have problems in VR?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get a headache. And
oh, really?
Wow.
In a movie, I can kind of like if I get drunk and I kind of sit like this and defocus, I can see it, but I can't see 3D as well as a normal person can by any means. Yeah.
That could be my issue. But
do you like 3D movies?
I've seen a 3D movie before, and I don't remember.
Does it look 3D to you?
It was 1985.
Yeah.
Alan
One eye was
red.
red.
The Lost City of Gold.
Yeah.
I don't go to the movies that much, but
well, maybe you don't have depth perception issues. I don't perception issues.
I don't know. But whatever it was, I had a surprising amount of trouble manipulating the holograms, and I was surprised because this gesture to me was impossible to do that we used for HoloLens 1. So I was so excited about we can just touch them now. But then
you didn't know where it was in space.
I didn't.
Honestly, it's tricking you, right? Because it isn't.
Yeah.
So it didn't fool you. That's all.
I don't think I had a problem with that. Did you ever? So one thing I did have a problem with was it does eye tracking, right? So when something's up there, you can just kind of look. But I found it hard not to move my head, right? You kind of naturally look that way at stuff. And they kept saying, you don't have to move your head. You don't have to move your head. You stop moving your head.
I don't think I moved
Seriously,
my head.
hold your head. I can't. It's hard for me not to move my head.
It was cool. The ability to look at text in a hologram and scroll with your eyes. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're reading a piece of text, and then when you get to the bottom with your eyes, it sees you're at the bottom, and so it just scrolls up.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's way more comfortable, better field of view. I just had a heck of a time manipulating the holograms.
Would you agree? So the field of view was obviously the big problem with the first version.
Yeah.
We can't pretend that they've solved it. I mean, obviously there is still a field of view, but I agree with this. It's much taller. I feel like this is no longer an issue, right?
Yeah.
Not that they shouldn't continue to work on it or whatever, but to me, that was the burning problem. And I feel like they really just nailed it. It's the way it should be.
Yeah, it's way more, it's just normal. When you're looking now, you don't feel like you're peeking through something really small. You feel like I'm just looking inside of a rectangle, but it's an acceptable size rectangle. It's like you were in a tank looking out at a little, what's going on out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was fun to try it out. Sounds like we'll hear more soon. It sounds like it's definitely going to ship this year. I mean, they've got the hardware pretty much done.
Right.
So yeah.